You went to Nah, you didn't.
No, I got probation. I mean, I was like what, 17 or 19 or something. Good luck out.
Well, in the HTTPS, it has Skype.com and
I just sent
nah.
you a file through this chat. I don't know why it's not.
Okay, well, it just came up crazy. We'll just say that. It just came up crazy.
It's not a picture of two, like a very large woman and a not as large woman.
No, it just comes up with the create account or sign in, the Skype thing. I don't know why. Don't worry about it.
I'll imgur it so that you don't have to deal with apparently the advanced technology that is.
I have Windows 8. That could be part of the problem. Sometimes it won't accept certain files. I don't know why.
Why do you hate your parents?
My parents.
Well, I mean, Windows 8 is like getting a tattoo or a piercing. It's a sign that you hate your parents. I do believe.
Well, I don't hate my mother. I do not hate my mother at all. My father's deceased. So.
Oh, so you won't speak of him either illy or.
Well, he's deceased, He's deceased.
So
I could say a lot of bad things and a few good things. So.
Ooh. Okay, here we go.
Ooh, what? Ooh.
Ooh.
I tried to call Desert, and she says she's on Skype, but apparently she's not. So, or maybe she didn't want to talk. Okay, yeah, that will probably pull up a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a short girl with the white dress and glasses. She can't be over 30 though. So.
Oh, I'd say she's definitely over 30.
Oh, you think so?
Just looking at the texture of the skin.
Oh,
The short girl, right?
Yeah. The other ones. Yeah.
I bet she's very diplomatic, but she's very artistic. Just looking at her eyebrows, I'm guessing here. She has a high forehead. I like that about her. Looks like she's sensitive to what people say about her. Wow, she's got a lot of tattoos. Are you into tattoos?
No, I don't like tattoos at all.
Well, she's got one on her right ankle right there. I mean, and then there's one on her right arm, and
Yeah, man, that's a lot of tattoos.
that speaks a lot about a person. That could be when she was younger and more daring.
Really has issues with her daddy, which is probably maybe why she likes these slightly older guys.
It could be why she strips too. I think a lot of strippers or even drag queens, they've had daddy issues.
Okay, what do drag queens have to do with strippers? They aren't the same thing at all.
They both have daddy issues. That's the one thing they have in common. And sexual abuse. I used to sell pantyhose to drag queens. So I got to know them over... No, they would have these drag shows, and invariably somebody would have a runner in their hose. And I would get, like, pantyhose that was almost expired at Dillard's and, these nice department stores. They just threw them away. So my friend ended up giving them to me, and I would go in there and sell them for 50 cents or a buck. It was a fast nickel. Was better than a slow dime. And so I'd bring in the suitcase full of them, and they would come in and grab a whole bunch of stuff. So, and I got to know them over time, and and when it cost me more money to get that amount of well, I raised the prices, but I always gave them a really, really good deal. And I can't think of a single one that I got to know well that didn't have a story of rape, incest, molestation.
Wait,
And it's the same thing with the strippers.
or are these chicks pretending to be dudes?
Yes, the chicks that are drag queens, they like guys. They like guys, but they like to dress up.
Starred as, because I don't buy it that if they're dudes they got raped, because you can't rape a dude really.
You could rape a child.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess,
And all strippers are children at one point, and all drag queens are children as well. And they had a lot of similar stories, and it would just break my heart. I would design outfits for strippers. It didn't take that much fabric, and they would pay me $50 to $100, even more sometimes. It was just a really good thing to do. I'm thinking about doing it again and starting a business. Strip off productions,
All productions.
Uh-huh.
And you sell pantyhose to strippers? Or
Well, not pantyhose, actually outfits. I would make them cute outfits that suited their personality, suited their body type, cut on the bias, that type of thing, that were easy to take off, on stage.
wow, that's
Well, that's what I did to make extra buck in college, and I would cut them deals sometimes, but then they would expect deals all the time. The strippers would, not the drag queens. So, and I wouldn't dare to try to make an outfit for a drag queen. They were too damn picky when it came to their clothes. Strippers didn't care.
yeah, because they're just gonna take them off anyhow. So what's the point?
Well, that's true, and they weren't really that into how they looked. They knew guys were just wanting to see the jewels underneath the clothes. That's what they cared about.
Oh, it was funny. The larger girl, her name was Megan.
Oh, I bet she's a bitch. I bet she fights. I bet that one fights.
While we're at this, she called her ex, I don't know, with husband, but they have a 9-year-old together.
Uh-huh.
I guess her ex posted a picture of him having sex with his new woman to Facebook.
Whoa, wait. How old was he?
Who?
The child?
The child's a daughter, a 9-year-old, right? And somehow the ex who posted a picture of him having sex with his new woman.
Oh, okay.
Ended up in the 9-year-old's Facebook.
Oh, no.
I guess his name was Wayne, which I was laughing at. Such a fucking. She was yelling at. I don't think she got him on the phone. I think she was yelling into his voicemail, but she was like sounding like she was just terrible.
I would have been calling the police. I would have fucked him up.
Yeah, but then she probably has issues that she doesn't want the police involved in.
Oh, that's true.
I think they were pretty beaked up. So I don't know. They kept playing songs that indicated that they were partying. So I don't know.
I bet she likes to fight, though, the tall one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I look, even the way she has her hands kind of in a fist. I bet she's possessive of people. I bet she is.
Yeah, could be. You know what? She might just have issues about her. That might have been more about her ex having a new guy than the actual. Although
Could be.
Your kid stream is kind of.
Oh my God, that's something a child can never get over. I mean, that's something they can never unsee.
I mean, it's like people aren't
Uh-huh.
on the internet. Maybe he just thought it would only be seen by her. By her, I mean his ex. He was obviously trying to stick it in his ex's face that he's fucking somebody new. So.
Why would he care what she thought? I mean, that's what I think, but
Yeah, it's kind of a bitch move. All right.
I don't care who my ex sleeps with, and just.
You have an ex, or you have multiple exes, right? You got like guys from like United Nations exes.
Oh, you're gonna go there, aren't you?
No,
There's one I always wanted to sleep with. Oh my God! I mean, even now, but he's married, so he's on the do not touch list. Just. Oh. Well, he had an affair with like a Danish princess. I mean, it hit the news and everything, and his wife still stood by him. So, if a princess can't get him, then I mean, the rest of us have no hope. So, yeah, that's the way we kind of look at it. But he's kind of like my I don't want to say, but
he's your what?
it's someone that I actually fantasize about, which is kind of embarrassing to say that I fantasize. I'm a grown ass woman, to have a fantasy guy. I mean, I know you just find a man, use him, and tell him to go on his way.
Oh, awesome! That's realistic there.
Well, I'm not a big fan of marriage. I never have been, really. That's why I've never actually gone through it. I've been engaged a number of times, and I've come to the conclusion that I have an issue with commitment. I just don't believe, why should I get married? I really don't have to.
But if you're female, isn't it advantageous to get married? Because then, like, when you get divorced, you get like all kinds of cool shit from the dude.
Well, that's like being a prostitute. I wouldn't want to be that either. I don't see the difference. I think a lot of married women are prostituting themselves. If you love someone, you should just be with them. You shouldn't have to have a piece of paper or a ring around your finger to say that this person is your other love. I don't agree with it.
Well,
But that's just my personal belief.
I think, well, I think a lot of people in the generation behind us is adopting that belief in that system. I don't know, but who knows what it will lead to? I wouldn't be surprised at all if people kind of have a resurgence of marriage after people get tired of casual hookups and Tinder and whatever else is out there.
Well, I mean, the Victorian age is coming again, I think. With this younger generation. I don't know what's wrong with them, but like when I was growing up, I wore next to nothing. I mean, it was, and now these kids today are so modest. I don't know what's wrong with them.
You afford clothes, so you just didn't wear any?
Well, no, I wore a lot of bustiers, the shortest shorts I could get by with. I had clothes that would breed with itself in my closet. I had tons of clothes, and my parents really spoiled me. I had accounts I could just charge on by my signature, and it was a different way to grow up.
I don't understand. This is Oklahoma, and you didn't get raped like daily just walking around that way?
No, where I was raised was a small oil town, and it was the headquarters for Phillips Petroleum. So there was a lot of different cultures here. It was kind of a strange place. There was about 29,000, and some people were from the London office or Norway, the Black Sea, Singapore. When someone moved here, they didn't ask, what state did you come from? It was what country did you come from? So it was a little bit different.
And that's good. Well, probably because if you have an accent, I would guess that you're going to get asked what country you're from. You're not going to say, so is that an Oregon accent there, Mr. English person or Norwegian person? No.
Well, I mean, people would come with the Norwegian accents were the easiest. There were some people from Germany, some people from back in the 70s, Iran. We had a lot of offices over in Iran at that time before the Shah fell. It just depended. If you just saw somebody and you knew they were new in a small town like that.
So what the hell are you? So you were born before the 70s even?
Yes.
Oh my God! Wow, I didn't realize that. I thought you were my age, but you're older than that.
No, I'm in my 40s.
Well, but you can be born in the 70s and be in your 40s.
Well, that's true. In the very, very late 60s. But then I'm doxing myself, and I don't want to really do that. But my info's out there. So.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea. It seems like everybody on Spreakers, at least the people that are regulars are at least in their late 30s.
Well, I mean, when the kids are busy when you're younger, I mean, who has time for something like this? And lately, I haven't had that much time to do a show like this because I'm always doing the Listen While You Tweet, CDC Whistleblower type of shows because that matters to me. I could have gone to a party tonight, but no, I stayed home and I tweeted hashtag CDC Whistleblower to push our impressions up.
Wow, you're like a hero. So what?
Well, no, we're part of a movement's what we are.
So you were online at midnight then?
Yes.
Because I was trying to find, I was going to go read because you can read the chats now. I was going to go see if anybody talked about me because that's all I care about, But
well, I erase anything that I write that is negative after the show. I think a lot of people do that. So sometimes I think the chat really doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't erase anything because also people don't really know if it's me or not. There's so many barcodes.
Oh, that's true. And we're talking about a small community on Spreaker.
Right. I mean, even if it blew up or something, I just I don't fucking know who that barcode is.
And people know that some people bought their rooms. I mean, it's very easy to know that. Or they bought their shows to make it look like they have 300 listens when they don't. And who cares exactly? Sometimes on my Listen While You Tweet, I may have only 7 listens. But those are 7 people on Twitter that I'm helping to keep on tweeting. And I feel like I'm helping my movement when I do that. And it keeps me on Twitter as well. It helps. It really helps. Now, I haven't been on BTR at all because they screwed up my account. They tried to charge me twice. And because on the holiday season, they give all their